you is, are you ready to accept the call of a mentor?
What comes to mind? Anybody, just throw your hand up and tell me. What comes to mind when you hear provider?
Working.
Working. Yeah, that's a good word. Yes, sir.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business.
Yes. Paying bills.
Paying bills. Money.
Responsibility.
Responsibility.
Love.
Love. When you are a provider, everything y'all just said is such. I'm one of those guys. We're going to cover a couple things today. So we're going to be on this slide for a few minutes. Okay, Don? We're going to talk about providing. Then we're going to talk about a provider that's providing. Then we're going to talk about a provider that's communicating. Then we're going to talk about a provider that deals with conflict, because it's going to happen. And then we're going to end the day with a provider that deals with legacy and as a way of life. Fighting fair. Yeah, he just said fighting fair. I'm sorry, you have to fight sometime when you're a provider. And I don't mean that all the time physically. And how you live your life, and then the examples that I set. You yourself, what examples you set. These are the things we're going to cover. And then I want to give you a definition first, and then I need somebody that brought their Bible to turn to Genesis 22:8. When you get that, let me know. But I want to read you a definition. It says, a provider, according to the dictionary, is this. A provider, when we're talking about a man, provides a clear container for relationship. This is one that's going to give us a definition based on relationship. He is not in a relationship just to be a boyfriend. Provider, he is in a relationship to be your husband. Because a husband are these three things. Evolutionarily, civilly, and even spiritually. Now I want to stop for a moment and tell you what those evolutionary provider says. A provider in that way, that is in a way that is connected with slow, steady development and change. You're connected, but you provide a slow, steady development and change. Civilly, a provider he does things in a civil manner and politely. Thank you, sir. And politely. Spiritually, a provider in a way that relates to or affects the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. We're talking about a provider today, all right? Now, I'm going to go a couple of different ways to help you when we talk about provider, because we've had that definition for so long that that a provider, this is the rule we went by. It used to be basically required, since women weren't allowed to work or weren't paid enough to be single, and their entire worth was based on if they were married or not. But I'm talking about a provider today, and I'm talking to men, and we're talking in another sense. We're talking about a provider where I dare you to believe that you do more than provide income in the household. If the truth be told, my wife, Elder Sidney read that we've been married for 30 plus years. We've been married 33 years. And the truth be told, my wife holds a master's degree in marriage and family therapy and couples counseling. She could surpass my income. But if she stopped right there that I'm not the provider, if we just go by money alone, and she'll tell you I'm pretty intelligent on ways to make income come in and keep it passing through the house. But there's more that I provide as a man. There's more that as a provider that you provide. Watch this. In Genesis 22:8, I want to read this to you real quick. Anybody got that scripture?
Yeah.
What translation do you have?
King James Version.
Okay, anybody else have another translation? Sometimes some people have those where you can get the living. I want to keep yours, sir. And I'd just like to hear another translation if we have one other. Let me know when you have it.
I have NIV.
Okay, sir, would you read yours? And then I want you to read after that. Go right ahead, sir.
And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
Read yours.
Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together.
This is the provider saying at this time, see, as a provider, we offer more things than just the income. At this time, the provider was offering the lamb that was going to be sacrificed. What's the next part? What did you say after that? Read it again.
And the two of them went on together.
Yeah. Providing the living sacrifice. Now we moved on. This is what I'm providing at that time. Watch this. Genesis chapter 1, verse 17. Somebody find that. Can you find that for me again, sir?
Genesis 1:17.
Yes, sir. I'm just laying some groundwork as we do this workshop. Now, y'all do know it's called workshop. That means y'all going to be doing some work in just a little while, okay? But I got to give you some bases. Welcome, sir. And to your child, your son.
And God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth.
Come on. Read yours, done.
God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth.
Listen. God set a provider in expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth. He made you a provider to give life, to give light on the earth, in your family, in your household, at your business. You are a provider. When we get to that place, we start ducking being a provider, we're going the wrong way. And then when we start thinking that it's only to provide income, we mess up all that we're supposed to give to our families. I'm not just a provider to provide the income. How many of y'all ever heard that, man, I put a roof over their head? My father used to say, man, and this is how he was raised. He didn't know. My father's alive and well. He'll tell you now that certain things I teach him. But he said, man, I put a roof over her head. He was talking about my mom. I got her in a nice place and I got food on the table. He was done. But if that's all we have to do as a provider, man, that ain't all God made you to do. Guess what? There's days I'm the provider and I do the laundry at the house. I provide the floors. I clean the floors at my house. One, because I got a military background and I don't like dirty floors and I clean them better than my wife. But she'll tell you that. Y'all will catch this in a minute. We're going to keep going. But I gave scripture for the theologians in the house. Go back and study those scriptures later. But when they get to the one that says, Genesis chapter 1, verse 17, says, and God set them to the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth. He set them as providers so y'all can shed light for your families. So you can provide light to your surroundings. You are a provider.
Thank you for listening to our podcast today, The Call of a Mentor. If you'd like to leave a positive comment or if you'd like to be on our show, please give us a call at 757-737-8714 or you can drop us a text message. You can also email us at communityservant85@yahoo.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
The Call of a Mentor is a production of Marriage Map Ministries and EOVBAA in association with Overwhelming Victory Radio. Our executive producers are Dwight and Angela McDowell and Dr. Greg Glenville, with Andrew Fouts as our associate producer. To find out more about Overwhelming Victory Radio or to listen to any of our sister podcasts, visit overwhelmingvictory.org.